Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to continue with the theme we've got currently going, which is the truth about certain subjects. Now, we've gone through cutting, the truth about cutting weight, especially as a natural bodybuilder. We've gone through bulking, putting on weight, putting on muscle mass as a natural bodybuilder predominantly. Because, you know, before I do start, that's the place of knowledge that I'm coming from. You know, someone who has never delved into the dark side. I've never taken any steroids, pro hormones, never any fat burners, clenbuterol, nothing like that. Obviously they do help, they do have a place in professional bodybuilding, but you know, as far as getting lean for the beach or you know, shredding for a holiday or something like that, you know, just for yourself, I really don't think they have a place. I think steroids and everything else come into play when you want to be a bodybuilder on stage, okay? And you know, with that being said, let's get into this video because I don't want to talk too much about that, but those are my opinions first off.
This is exclusive. Go! Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up.
Alright guys, so the first thing I want to talk about is the most important. It's going to determine your results more so than any training and any diet ever could, and that is genetics, okay? You know, genetics is the thing that makes up the shape and the outline of the abs. Everyone has abs, guys. In fact, everyone's got 8 abs. And if you push your finger in there far enough, you're going to feel them, alright? Genetics is what's going to determine how many of those 8 abdominal muscles are going to be shown. Even at a shredded 5% body fat, not everyone is going to show 8 abs, not everyone's going to show 6 abs. Some people might just have 4, and that is solely due to genetics. Now, you can train in a way to try and develop your abs. What that's going to do, it's not going to change the shape, guys. If you've got asymmetrical abs, there is no way in hell that doing 3,000 sit-ups a day is going to actually change the shape of your abs so that they're symmetrical, all right? If you've got really narrow abs, training them is not going to make them wider and blockier like some people want. I think the only thing that's going to change if you actually train your abs, as far as, you know, doing a lot of sit-ups, core work, planks, things like that, is it's probably going to feel tighter on you, but the only thing that's going to happen is your muscles are going to develop just like any other muscle. So you train your bicep, it grows, okay, it grows. The actual shape is not going to change, but it finds a way to grow, and it grows upwards and outwards instead. But the length and the shape's not going to change. So, same thing with abs, alright? If you start training your abs, the shape is not going to change. All that's going to happen is they might get a little bit denser, and if they do start to develop, it's going to come outwards. So with that being said, if you can develop your abs and have them come outwards a little bit, that is also going to increase the depth of the cuts between the abs. So, you know, I guess, truth be told, you can train your abs to make them look more defined. Now, personally, I have never had to do that. If I get down under 10% body fat, my abs are going to show a six-pack. They're quite blocky, they're quite symmetrical, and I guess I'm lucky in that. Guys, before I start rambling, I'm just going to have to check myself, alright? That's pretty much all I wanted to say about genetics. Everyone's got abs, guys, but not everyone can be disciplined enough to diet down enough to actually reveal them. And that brings me to my next topic, guys, which is the famous quote that I'm sure you guys have heard, and it is so true. Abs are made in the kitchen. That is a saying, guys, that I'm sure you've heard in the past, and I'm here to tell you that it couldn't be more true. It is absolutely 110% true. I would say, guys, if we're talking about percentages and numbers here, as far as how important diet is to, you know, slimming down, revealing that six-pack abs. If you're an overweight man or woman, you know, you really want to lean down, you know, not to a competition bodybuilding stage type physique, but basically, you know, trim up your waist, get rid of the love handles, and start revealing exactly what sort of a waist and a waistline and a six-pack you have. Then if we're going to talk about percentages, okay, you've got training, you've got diet, you've also got supplements like I talked about at the start, but we're not going to talk about those. So training and diet, I would say, honestly, you wouldn't even need to train. You don't need to go to the gym to fucking slim down and reveal those abs. It is literally 100% diet. If all you want to do is lose weight, lose fat, and reveal your abs. Now, where that changes is if you've got, you know, a good amount of muscle mass on your body, and your goal is to not only slim down and reveal those abs, but also retain all of the muscle mass that you've put on. So I guess that's more so of a bodybuilder's type mentality. With that being said, I would say probably about, honestly, 70% diet, 30% training. Training's got to be in there, but if you're solely focused on your training and your diet gets put by the wayside, you're not going to get lean. It's as simple as that. If you're eating too many calories, you're just not going to get lean. But we're going to get into that in the next tip. Now, depending on your size, depending on your goals, is going to determine what sort of a plan of action that you guys take. Now, you need a plan, all right? Because there's going to be times when you second guess yourself, when you look in the mirror and you think, shit, I'm not actually changing, I look small, I look skinny, what's going on? And those are the times when you have to really trust the process. Like I keep saying, guys, you've got to have a plan in place, and when those times come, because they really do, and they start fucking with your head, you've been dieting for 6 weeks already, you know, and it's hard, it's tough, but you've got to stick to the plan, trust the process, and you'll be okay. So like I said, depending on your goals is definitely going to depend on what sort of plan of action you have. Whether you want to get a really shredded 5% body fat with veins everywhere, or whether you want to reveal at least a 4-pack at 15% body fat and be comfortable on the beach or at the pool. The latter of those obviously being a totally different kettle of fish to the first. But guys, to get the results, the basic methods that you do use do remain the same. The only real difference being the length of time and the amount of suffering you're willing to put your body through to get to where you want to get to. The faster you try and cut, guys, the more muscle mass you've got the risk of losing. It's as simple as that. I like to say slow and steady wins the race. I like to say things like it's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, lower levels of body fat when you're really lean, they look fantastic. You feel fantastic, you feel great at certain times of the day. In fact, I would say the best time of the day is actually when you're in the gym, when you're all pumped up. Throughout the day, otherwise, if you're really lean, you know, the good comes with the bad, all right? And there's going to be times when you feel lethargic, you feel irritable, you can't eat the foods you want to eat, or you can, but not in the volumes you want to eat, and that is what really kills you. So, you know, it's going to be up to you. As far as numbers go, when we're talking about losing weight to get lean, to get shredded, reveal those abs, I would say, you know, depending on where you start, guys, I would say no more than 1 kg per week. Although, you know, I have heard of people being quite overweight, we're talking 25-30% body fat or above, who can, you know, realistically lose more than that because they have more fat to lose. Think about body fat as fuel. If you've got a lot of body fat on you, you can probably get away with dieting quite drastically. I don't know how long for, but you're definitely going to be able to get away with going more drastic than someone who is already quite lean. If they start, you know, hammering away, really dropping their calories straight away, and losing more than 1 kg per week, fuck, where is this weight coming from? You know, it's too much, too fast, and it's not sustainable. They'll probably end up losing muscle, which is the last thing you want to do. So with that being said, you know, I would say from 0.5 to 1 kg of fat loss per week is pretty good. Now, there is a huge difference between fat loss and weight loss. And this comes down to knowledge, it comes down to you watching videos like this to get information. Now, you jump on the scales, you've lost weight. Has that weight come from fat? Or has it come from muscle? Or has it been just water weight lost due to dropping your carbs or something like that? If you don't take notice of your macronutrients, if you don't start reading the back of packets, if you don't take this seriously, then yes, you could be losing weight, but because you don't have a real plan, you don't have a huge amount of structure, that weight that you lose could well be really good weight that you want to keep, you know, that muscle mass, okay? You don't want to lose muscle. The thing about muscle mass as opposed to fat mass, you got muscle tissue and fat tissue in the body, okay? A mixture of both. The muscle tissue that you retain on your body to pump the blood throughout your body, to, you know, walk around, use that tissue, takes a hell of a lot more calories than fat tissue, okay? So if you've got someone who is 100 kgs but fat with fuck all muscle, and you've got someone who is 100 kgs lean with a lot of muscle, that person that's, I mean, you jump on the scales, they weigh exactly the same. The person who is muscular is going to burn a hell of a lot more calories throughout the day than the other person. So I would recommend structuring your diet. I would recommend getting some macronutrient numbers to stick to, or at least to try and stick to as a goal. You know, without delving too much into that, I would say there's one macronutrient that you want to keep in your diet. You want to keep an adequate amount in your diet, regardless of whether you're fat or lean. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter if you're tall, short, fat, skinny. It really doesn't matter, and that is protein. You know, what is protein? Protein is fuel for your muscles. It's fuel for recovery, muscle growth. It's going to maintain the muscle, and that is that's fucking key, man. When you're shredding down, you want to maintain the muscle as best as possible. There's one macronutrient that will do that, and that is protein. So make sure to keep enough protein in your diet. If you want a macro calculator, go online, look it up, you know, put in your details, body fat, height, weight, what you want to achieve, and it'll spit out some macros for you. I'm not going to give them to you. Everyone's different. I've personally found some macros that work for me. Check out my other videos about macros if you want to hear about that. Alright guys, so that has pretty much brought me to the end of the video. I've got one more piece of knowledge that I want to put across, and that is the fact that, you know, unfortunately, abs, the midsection, the lower back, the love handles are pretty much, unless you're really lucky, always going to be the last place to lean out. They really are. You know, I see this all the time, someone's arms and shoulders and even traps, you know, will be pretty much shredded, like ripped to shreds, and yet they lift up their top and they've still got some real stubborn body fat, you know, around that belt that we talk about. That belt, you know, pretty much around the belly button and just under it, around the whole male's body. I don't know about the girl's body. Girls tend to reveal their abs, you know, earlier than guys because fat stores are probably in their butt, their thighs. I mean, that would be the last place to go. Whereas a guy, if they're going to be really lean in the midsection, their butt would probably be really lean as well, or quite lean. So it's different for guys and girls. I'm probably more so talking about guys here. Basically, the one thing I wanted to say, regardless of whether you're a guy or girl, is that if anyone tries to tell you that you can actually spot reduce certain areas on your body, like, you know, if, like I said before, if you are lean across the top and the arms and stuff, but you've got that stubborn belly fat, if someone tells you to go and do sit-ups or go and do some special planks or something to try and spot reduce just that area, it's absolute bullshit. And the only thing that's going to do that is continuing on with your diet, trusting the process. Like I said before, you've got to have a plan in place, you know, trust the process, trust that you're doing the right thing, and you know, eventually they'll lean out. The way I really like to explain it, and I've done this to a lot of people, is, look, imagine your body having a layer of fat, like literally every single part of your body is covered with this layer. Let's call it 3 centimeters thick, okay? So you've got a 3 centimeter thick layer of fat across your body. Slowly, as you diet down, that layer is going to become smaller. And if you can imagine that across your whole entire body, there is no, it's coming off equally, okay? I said before, maybe it won't come off equally. That's depending on genetics. In general, the weight will come off pretty much evenly across the whole entire body, and that means that spot reducing is impossible. So that layer on your body gets slowly, smaller. I mean, things start popping out. You might see your arms first, then you might notice your shoulders, then you might notice your chest. Slowly, it's getting smaller and smaller all over the body until the abs are pretty much the last place to show, and then you're lean. You know, some of these things that people come out with, like fat burning cream that you put in your belly. I mean, if you rub some fucking cream on your belly, it's not going to make you any leaner just in that area. It might heat up your whole entire body, and then you might burn some more calories by that way. But as far as spot reducing fat, it's not going to work. If you train your arms every single day, it's not going to make the fat come off your arms any faster, alright? It is a slow and tedious process at the best of times, getting lean, especially if you're coming from someone who has been sedentary, who, you know, hasn't shifted that body fat for years. Can you imagine how hard it would be tapping into that body fat that hasn't shifted for years? Probably going to be a lot harder than someone who's been lean most of their life, but the methods remain the same. The results will be there eventually. And I'll tell you what, if you're looking in the mirror and you look at your belly and you think, fuck, I've been dieting for a week, in the middle of your diet, you look at yourself, you think, shit, I've smashed this last week. I've done all my cardio, all my training. I've kept my diet, but my stomach hasn't changed. Well, like I said before, that layer is coming off everywhere around the body. If you turn around, for example, and fucking take a picture of your back, that might have really come out this week, alright? It's not necessarily always going to be your abs that change. One week it might be predominantly your legs, one week your back might really start to come out, and honestly, it's probably just your perspective on yourself. Everyone's their own biggest critic, especially like once you start going in the gym, once you step foot in that gym the first time, you are definitely going to become your own worst critic. And you know, all that does is just push you on further and further to keep going with your fitness journey and, you know, be proud of the physique that you build. Anyone can build a great physique. It's just a process. You know, having a set of six-pack abs is something that everyone can achieve. And it's a great feeling. It really is. You know, I've been there, and I will be there very soon. I'm actually cutting at the moment, so that's probably why I'm very passionate about the subject right now. I want to put across the things that I, know I've gained in knowledge over the years, and hopefully you've got something from it. The last thing I want to say before I do go is take progress pictures. All right, at the start, before you start your diet. You know, you're getting your plan in place, you're putting all this knowledge, go get your groceries ready to start the diet on Monday morning. That Sunday night, or in the daytime, take progress pictures, alright? One from the front, from the side, from the back, and the other side. Head to toe, a nice chest height so you see your whole body and it's not skewed. You know, you want a good perspective of your body. You want to also take it in a place where you're going to be able to take more in 6, 12, 18 weeks time, under the same light, in the same place. You want to be able to put your camera in the same spot, because those progress pictures, man, when you're doubting yourself 6 weeks in and you think you're not making any progress, go and have a look. Take some more, put them side by side, and I'll tell you what, there's going to be some changes. And with progress pictures, there's no guesswork. I've got a lot of people who've come to me and said they don't feel like they're progressing, right? They've lost weight, but they can't really see it. I say, well, did you take progress pictures at the start? No. Okay, well, all you can do now is take them now and then continue on in the future. And they do that and then they're happy. So, take progress pictures is all I want to say. I really am going now, but I just want to say, having a set of six-pack abs is not everything, but it's definitely something that everyone can achieve if they want to. It's a fantastic feeling, it really is. It makes you feel confident, it really does. It makes you feel powerful as a person. You feel like you can take on the world. Getting down there, getting to that six-pack ab level of body fat is the hard part. Maintaining it is a hell of a lot easier. That's all I want to say. So get there, get down there, then maintain and live a healthy, happy, lean life. You don't have to be shredded. Like I said before, 15% body fat is more than lean enough for most people. So have that as a first goal. See how you look. You might want to continue. Getting there is the hard part. Maintaining is a hell of a lot easier. Good luck, guys. That was my video on the truth about getting shredded. I hope you guys got something from it. Before I do go, if you liked it, please give it the thumbs up. It helps a hell of a lot. If you want to see more videos, subscribe. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up.